Hello everyone, welcome back to Minecraft. And yes, I did check today, this time I did check, this is going to be episode 10. And that is pretty cool. This means that after this episode, we're going to be halfway done with the series. And halfway, along my path to college, which is going to be pretty cool. And today I'm going to add some lights to the house, on the roof especially. Because things can probably spawn up there. And then I'm going to, if I have time, I'm going to go to the nether and try to find a structure of some sort. I hope I can at least. And in the meantime, I will be talking about the different games that I've played throughout my life here. I thought that would be a pretty fun topic. Actually, I think I'll add these lights here. Really wish I had a hole right now, so I did just break these super fast. So, the different games that I've played. Well, I think in terms of gaming, I've had a pretty eventful childhood. So I've played games all the way from including Minecraft, I've played on my dad's phone, mostly. So, of course, when I was young, I didn't have a phone, right? So I would only be able to really play games supervised by my parents on my mom or dad's phone. So, one of the earliest games I started to play on my mom and dad's phone, my dad's phone particularly, is called Threes. Now, I'm pretty sure this game is still available on the App Store because I think my parents still play sometimes. It's based, if you know 2048, it's like a kind of matching game where you match similar tiles on a grid and you combine them to form bigger numbers. And in the case of 2048, you're trying to get to the number 2048 by going up in powers of 2, right? Well, in this case, for Threes, you start with 2s and 1s, and your job is to eventually get, I don't know what the upper limit is because I've never reached it, but you're going to be, and you can get to 768 or 1536. You're not multiplying by 2, but you go to 3 and then you go to 6 and then 12, so it's still multiplying by 2, not multiplying by 3. But that's basically how the game works. I think I can add some more shroom lights to the corners actually. Maybe that explains a bit of what this is going to be like. Should I add some? I'm gonna add some warp stems. Might be fun. Okay. Might be a bit different, but it'll be fun. And one thing I liked about Threes was that it had a very user-friendly interface. It was really cute. And I live in Korea. Everything here is pretty cute. They make efforts to make everything in Korea cute, you know. And my mom and dad also played it, so we would have competitions to see who would get a higher score. Unfortunately, okay, I was 8 years old or something, so and actually I was younger. I was 6 or something, so I sucked at the game. I didn't have any logical abilities, so I knew what tiles to combine and how I'm supposed to not die, all that stuff. I didn't have any of that because I sucked at the game. So it's no surprise that my mom or dad would always beat me. And then as time went on, I began to lose interest in Threes, but then instead I began to start getting interest in another type of game. Now this one is pretty interesting. Yeah, no one will see that ever. So this game is called Smash It. Why can't I pronounce it? Now you may have heard of Smash Hit, and that's the game where you have to you have to tap on the screen to unlock, to release metal balls that destroy things. But this game is kind of different. It was a Toy Story inspired game. What the heck? It's a Toy Story oh my god. Whatever. That's just gonna look like that, I guess. Should I just have these all? I'm just gonna have these all stand up. Yeah, so it was a Toy Story inspired game, and the sad thing is, I think it's gone from the App Store now, because I tried to look it up and yeah, it was completely gone. But it was called Smash It, like not Hit, but It. Yeah, and it's gone. But it was basically a game where you would have to you would play as different characters, like Woody or Buzz, you know, the characters from Toy Story, and then you would like use your controls to launch the, you know, the big ball like they have in Toy Story, like the ball with a star on it, the yellow, blue, red ball that they have. You know what I'm talking about, right? That ball was like the main thing they used in the game. And basically your objective was to like use the balls to collect various things. It was that kind of game. It was different from Smash Hit, where your objective was to destroy your things in your pass. Oops, forgot there's like the staircase there. But I can't really talk for long about Smash It because I had the game on my mom's phone for like a month, and then for some reason it got deleted, so I could no longer play it. Maybe the game didn't really sell that well, but if you look it up online, like there's evidence that it existed, so that's evidence that I used to play it. It is it's not a made up game. Okay. Yeah, the blue bit looks kind of goofy, but I like it, so who cares? No one's gonna live here except me. Now, but since I can't talk about that game too much, I will move on. The next game I'd like to discuss is called Smash Hit. Now this one might be a bit more familiar to a lot of you because, you know, for one, it's actually available to play, and second of all, I still have it, so it's a game that doesn't need any internet connection, which is amazing. So when I have nothing to do or something along those lines, when I'm bored or just want some, you know, when I'm really bored to the point where I don't have to use my data connection anymore, if I'm in like a foreign country and I can't afford to use roaming, then I will use Smash. I'll play an offline game. And that's where Smash It came in. That was my first like offline game experience. And just like I told you, it's a game where you have to smash obstacles in your path. It's really fun. And yeah. We went to the Nether? Oh my god. So that game is pretty great. To brag a little bit, if you know the game, you'll understand, but I went to the very final checkpoint, like checkpoint 12 or something, and that's where infinite mode starts. So I don't think I've mentioned this, but the whole point of the game is that you have to destroy things in your path. So you're acting as like a camera that moves automatically, but you're going along a straight path for most of the time. But in your way, there's going to be various obstacles, usually glass of various sizes. And the problem is, if you hit that glass, if your camera touches that glass, you lose like some of your balls. And I don't mean that in a comedic way. I mean literally, you start with like 25 balls or something. I don't remember. I think it's 25. But as you get hit by glass, you lose balls, and that's bad because if you run out of balls completely, if you have 0 balls, then you lose the game and you have to start over. And somehow, without using any checkpoints, I managed to make it all the way to the final checkpoint. And the thing is, these levels get increasingly more difficult as, you know, you progress. So the glass becomes like more difficult to avoid. Sometimes they start moving, sometimes the camera starts rotating, sometimes gravity changes, you get power-ups, all that fun stuff. So yeah, that was a really fun game for me. And I would like play that usually, you know, after my piano lesson ended. So I was in like 3rd grade and I was taking piano lessons when I was still back in China, right? And once I was done, I would ask for my dad's phone when I was in the car home, and I would just like play smash it during the entire car ride. Very fun activity. Yeah, so maybe with that context you'll understand that it's pretty difficult in my opinion. I haven't played it for like a year now, but in my opinion back then it was really difficult to reach checkpoint 12. And this is like the only game that I was like better than my family at. So my dad played some other, and then to transition from that, my dad started downloading more games. He downloaded this game called Swipe Brick Breaker. I don't know if it's still called that, but I do know that it still exists because it's on my phone. I just can't remember what it's called. So it's called Swipe Brick Breaker, and it's pretty similar to most traditional brick breaker games. You start with like a platform and a ball on the bottom of the screen, and you have to tap on the screen to make the ball go up, right? And your objective is to not let the ball fall, and you have to like destroy all the bricks on the top of the screen. Well, this one is different. The twist here, which makes this game great, is that you can't let the bricks reach the bottom of the screen. What I mean by that is every single time you score a point, all the bricks will move down by 1. But to compensate, to help you fight against those incoming bricks, you'll have opportunities every single point you score to get more balls. So let's say you start with 1 ball and you have 1 brick to destroy. The game will also provide you with a little green floating circle that when you hit it, then you will get an additional ball. And when the screen moves down because you scored a point, all the bricks will move down by 1, but also they will increase their hardness number by 1. And that's important because the hardest number indicates how many balls it will take for you to successfully destroy that brick. So if the brick has number 1 on it, you can break it easily with 1 ball. But if it says like 15, you'll need 15 balls to break that single brick. And that's why having more balls is so important. And that game, I was like obsessed with it as well. But for some reason I was just really bad at it, so I couldn't get quite as good as my parents were. So I think my high score was like 200 or something at the end when I finally stopped playing it. And meanwhile my dad got like 700 or something. It was crazy. I forgot what he actually had. Pretty sure it was 700, yeah. So yeah, and my mom also played it, but I think she was like better than me, but not as good as my dad. So that was pretty crazy. I do need more food. Make this a bit more nether-like. Now, we're almost at the point where I'm at my last like family kind of game using my dad's phone, but this game is pretty cool. It was called Minion Rush. And yeah, actually it's 2 games. It's called Minion Rush and there's also Where's My Water. So those are the last 2 games that I ended up playing on my dad's phone. I think starting off with Where's My Water is a bit more appropriate. Is that fine? I don't think that's a good idea. I'll just like... Okay. So if you're not familiar with it, Where's My Water is a game where, you know, you live in the sewers basically, and there's an alligator somewhere in the basement of an apartment that needs to get clean water. But the problem is the sewers aren't connected properly, the pipes aren't connected properly, so you can't access it. And your job is to dig through dirt, dig through pipes, connect different pipes together, so the water can go from the source all the way to the alligator shower. I think his name was Swampy or something, yeah. So yeah, very fun game. Especially when you're like 10 years old. I don't think I ever completed that game, but there were way too many levels, and it just got stressful at some point. I think I got to like level 150 before I like gave up. because every single it's like kind of like Candy Crush, although I can never put Where's My Water and Candy Crush in the same category. Candy Crush is like, you know, the game that all the 40-year-old moms play on their phone, and somehow they're all at level 6,000 or above. But Where's My Water is like, you know, it's a different game. It's more like a childhood game, you know. Die. One beef, okay. I really like this flower forest though. But right now my priority is to get food so I can enter the nether and also get leather at the same time. So here we go. What the heck? Oh, come on. Okay, the second game is Minion Rush. So you've probably watched the movie Despicable Me. The whole series is at number 4 now, I think. Number 4 came out like a week ago in South Korea. And I think the great thing about this game was that, you know, like Temple Run, right? It's kind of like the main idea is like Temple Run, and there's like 1,000 different versions of Temple Run, you know, their own spin-offs and all that. But this game was unique because unlike Temple Run, this was like related to, you know, a movie that I watched and enjoyed a lot. Despicable Me is one of my favorite movies of all time because of how immature it is and how immature I am. You know, it just goes so well together. Now, in that game, basically you play as a minion, and your job is to guide him through, you know the traditional Temple Run style, like 3-lane paths, like Subway servers or something. You have to dodge obstacles, slide under them, get power-ups that allow you to fly above the map and all that, while getting as many bananas and scoring as many points as possible. That's a meta, I think. So yeah, pretty great game. I think it could have been improved in several more spots because, I mean, they did update the game several times, but I think that's kind of the reason that I stopped playing it. They updated so much that I kind of lost the touch of the original. Now, I'm not here to write a game review, so I'm not going to say much about it here. But I don't play the game anymore. I don't have it on my phone anymore. Oh, that's a deep cave, holy. That goes all the way down to like the bottom of the bottom. Like, look at that. Holy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mark this down. Oh yes, I need that. I would also like to point out that the time that I actually got a phone so that I could play, you know, the games that I wanted to play, that was around, when was it? Fifth grade. So 5th grade is when I finally got a phone and I started to use social media for the first time. Believe it or not, this isn't an episode about social media. Maybe I'll do it in the future. Probably not though. Actually, probably I will. There's a lot to talk about social media for me. Anyway, the first thing that I got was WeChat. Now, since I lived in China, that's what most people use, and that's what the people in my classmates, you know, the people in my class used. And WeChat was, you know, pretty great because, first of all, I could talk with people outside of school, and that wasn't possible for me when I didn't have a phone. But also, I could like see what people are posting. Like in WeChat, there's a feature called Moments, right? And that's kind of like Instagram posts. Except, you know, Instagram is like their whole point is posting, and WeChat their whole point is messaging. But now, Instagram is more for like messages. At least for what I use anyway. I don't really post on Instagram. So yeah, that's when I first got a phone, and consequently that meant I could download whatever game I wanted, right? That's one of the great wonders of having a phone. Oh, come on. The great thing about having a phone is that you don't have to rely on your parents, like, you know, being able to, you know, give you their phone anymore. Come here, yeah, come here. What, are you scared? Okay. I kind of want your membranes. Okay, my sword is so bad. Okay, last one, please give me a membrane. Just get stuck on the tree. That's a good idea. Thank you. Finally got a membrane. I have to use it for the dragon fight. There's more lava here. Interesting. That's tempting. But it's not full, so... Anyway, let me continue with my story. So when I first got my phone, after getting WeChat and all that, I started to download a bunch of different games online. So, since this no longer is limited to the games I only could get from my dad's phone, but I started to download games such as, Rider. I downloaded actually a bunch of games from Ketchup, that game developer Ketchup. Is this the right way? Yeah, it is. Okay, I just went much further than I thought. And Ketchup is so great because they had these all the games were offline, so you didn't have to have an internet connection to play them. And these are pointless games basically. They're games you just play purely for fun. There is levels, but they don't really mean a lot, so you can play them stress free. There's not daily quests or anything that's really important. That's why I really enjoyed the aspect of Ketchup games. Okay. So there was Helix Jump that I downloaded on my phone. Of course I mentioned Rider. What else? There was the thing where you push people off a building. I forgot what it's called. Those kind of pointless games, that was what I love, Really exciting for me. Should be able to breed you now. I'll wait after I punch down this tree. And then I'll think about going to the nether. So yeah. Now a specific game, I guess that's to be honest, I didn't really make any sort of real progress in those games because I downloaded 10 different games, right? So I was just seeing how much can I really do in a realistic amount of time, because progressing on 10 different games at once, it's not going to be easy. You're not going to make any real progress, and it's just going to take up a lot of your time. And of course, by this time, I was in 5th grade, right? I was getting ready for middle school, and I was getting ready to leave the country because I moved in 6th grade. So I guess instead of playing a lot of games, I decided to get a bit more social and stay connected with other people in the form of, getting to know WeChat more. The thing is, a lot of my friends had a phone before I did. My parents are a bit more conservative about that. I don't blame them though. It's important to not stay distracted a lot. But I'll talk more about it in a social media episode for the future. Maybe that's what I'll talk about. Actually, that's what I'll talk about tomorrow, social media. You can just see how unscripted these are. Anyway, that's why I stopped trying every single game in existence and downloading everything that I could. Now, in terms of games, now this list doesn't only include mobile games, right? Of course, I want to play games, and I did mention in the very first episode that I still did play Minecraft, with my best friend, and just play Minecraft in general. I was building up my Minecraft skills at this point, and I hope you remember that. But it was quite a long time ago, so I'm not sure if you did. But the point is, I didn't completely give up games. Very much the opposite, actually. I was learning them, but through different mediums. And another great thing that I was learning at the time was, now that I had a computer to use in middle school, I was beginning to learn IO games. So, all the IO games that were popular back in 2015 to 2016, right? Agario, Deep.io, Slitherio, all those kind of games. But my personal favorite was one that most people didn't really know about. It was called Mope.io. And yeah, Mope.io is a game where you play as different animals, and your job is to rise up the food chain. So I remember the very first animal that they had in their list was a mouse. And then it's a rabbit, and then it's a mole, and then, at least based on the updates that I was still keeping along with. I think the server's still active, but last time I heard about it, there's no players on it anymore. No one really plays it, which means the game's kind of dead. Makes sense because all the developers ended up leaving and all that stuff. That's what happens to a dead game, right? bit unfortunate though. I was like, I don't know much about it, so I can't say a lot. But I really loved playing Mob.io, so I would always like, you know, I would always be rooting for the game to make a comeback, because after the end of 2017, it started to die down a lot. All the famous YouTubers that used to play Mob.io, like my personal favorite was Nation because he would rage a lot, but there was also, you know, La Flame and I Explode and all of those guys, and I watched them a lot in this zombie. I forgot my golden boots. But they all left the game because, you know, that's just not where the content was trending anymore. But I didn't give up on Mob.io until like at the end of 2018. After that, I finally started to play different games like Brawl Stars, but I'll get to that later. The great thing about Mob.io is that I don't know what's so great about it, but I just like really love the idea of it, so I fell in love with it. I even got to like the Black Dragon like a few times by myself without any teaming, which is pretty cool in my experience. That's the highest tier animal you can get. It can like kill everything. You can even eat dragons. Maybe I'll play Mob.io for like a nostalgia trip later on, but probably not. I was not the best at the game either. Like, no matter how like good you want to be, there's always gonna be someone better than you at the game. Especially when it comes to dragon 1v1ing. So in Mob.io, there's like an aspect of the game where you can, you know, 1v1 other dragons by biting each other's tails until one of them dies. And then they ended up adding a specialized 1v1 mode so people couldn't steal kills. But yeah, that was really enjoyable. Like, I think like the 1v1 feature era was kind of the last time that I played Mob. I was so obsessed that I even drew some fan art of Mob.io, which I will never show because they're just so horrendous. But it got like 10 upvotes. Oh my god, that was close. It got like 10 upvotes on the Mob.io Reddit, which if you're talking about the Mob.io Reddit, that's like basically the top post of all time. A post above 10 upvotes is really popular, considered really popular. So yeah, I was like really obsessed with Mob.io. If you I don't know if anyone knows this, but my old channel like banner used to be Mob.io inspired. Like, it had like a screenshot of me playing the game as like an elephant, I think. And if you look at one of my earliest videos of all time, like the Minecraft and the Sarcasm series, I think, I don't know if that's still up, but if you look at that, my YouTube background has like, yeah, the old banner still up there. Nowadays it's Minecraft, so I've changed that a long time ago, but it's what it used to be. Bro, I kind of want like any structure to spawn here, please. Maybe a fort. I really want a fortress. Please get those. Oh, my dreams have been realized. Nice. That's a bastion, not a fortress, but still. I'll explore it while I talk about my next game. So that's enough talking about Mob.io. Hopefully I can loot this bastion before the episode ends. That would be great. I also want lava. Maybe I have to focus on a bit for this bastion, but hopefully not that much. I do have pretty good gear after all. But yeah. This is one of the most dangerous bastions, so if I have to focus a bit, I am sorry. I don't really want to die. Oh, and there's like 3 brutes. What the heck? Okay. You idiots. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. So the next thing that I want to talk about is Brawl Stars. Are you guys not burning? Yes, that's better. So Mob.io is an IO game, of course, and IO games were dying around the end of 2018. So, of course, I couldn't play that anymore. But then Brawl Stars came around. Now, Brawl Stars was a game that existed since 2017 or 18, I can't remember. But so I'm not a fully OG player, but compared to the rest of the player base nowadays, I consider myself pretty OG. It's basically a, if you don't know about it, it's basically a fast-paced multiplayer, what the heck? A game where you have to like fight other players in real time. So it's basically like an IO game, but much more fast-paced, and you get different weapons and choices of characters. Oops. Yeah, maybe I'll explore this side first. Actually, I'll explore this side first, it's more dangerous, so better. And Brawl Stars, it's a really great game, and I played it the most around near 7th grade. Around 7th grade. Where are all the chests? Oh, there's one. Now, I think the reason I started playing Brawl Stars in the first place is because I heard it from my friends who did play it. And back then in 7th grade, a lot of people played Brawl Stars. Like basically everyone in my grade, almost. How? How are you not getting hit by that? And one of my best friends, you know, I talked about him a few times, but the guy that lives in the UK, so he was one of the people that introduced me to Brawl Stars at the very first time. And I think he had like the most trophies in our grade at that point too. Yes. That's nice. Okay. And he inspired me to like start playing Brawl Stars a lot. I think at that point when I first started to play the game, there were only like, how many was it? Like, there are only like 24 characters. I think the newest character back then was Carl, which just shows how undeveloped this game was at that time. Oh, there's another chest. And this was before all the, if you know Brawl Stars, you'll know what I'm talking about, but this was before all the gears and gadgets and all that. Okay, that was horrible. That's nice. And that's why, like, nowadays there's hypercharges and all that, and I don't think most of the Brawl Stars player base is probably younger than Brawl Stars at this point, because, you know, people main Edgar, but but I played Brawl Stars since 2019, so I guess I consider myself like at least semi-OG compared to the rest of the player base. Of course, still I'm nowhere near the most OG. And okay, oh, I thought that was a ghast for a second. Holy crap! I kind of want to mine this though. You don't get mad if I mine this, right? Yeah, it's not gold, so you don't care. I think I was like, let me talk about how addicted I was to Brawl Stars though, because it was so fun. First of all, I really like the aspect of it being a fast-paced multiplayer game where I could like go against real people that aren't bots. Yeah, that was really amazing for me. Oh my god. How are you hitting me from there? I don't think they're supposed to spawn in here. That would be way too OP. Actually, bastions are way too easy now, so what can I say? I guess I should, yeah. So it was so addictive because it was so fast-paced, and then it was like also one of my like first multiplayer games that were, I didn't play Fortnite or anything before that, so it was like kind of a new experience for me. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, dang, this is a good chest. Only one chest though. Can't complain. Sorry, I just want to be careful when taking these, obvious. Now to talk about something else, when I was, after playing Brawl Stars for a bit, I was getting really addicted, so this was also the point where I was like kind of like, you know, failing school a bit. Yes, you could die. That's great. I got like everything I want from a bastion from this. And I could show you how much you play Brawl Stars. I don't think I can show you physically, but there's like this app and website called Brawl Stats. I think it's still active. I checked it a few months ago. And basically on this website, you can like keep track of your trophy progress. And you can, I think they removed this feature based on what I checked, but you used to be able to tell how many trophies you gained each day. And this was before they buffed trophies from, you know, win streaks and all that stuff. So I was getting around 140 trophies per day in my prime of Brawl Stars playing, when I was like, actually addicted. Nowadays this is equivalent to like, you know, getting like 400 to 500 trophies every single day, because back then every win gave you 6 instead of 8 trophies, and you don't get win streaks. But they buffed it because, you know, people love when you buff things. I need more blocks. A lot more. Get up. And that just shows like how much I really played this game. I actually played it so much that I went all the way to 15,000 trophies, which, you know, that's actually considered to be like a really pretty big number of trophies. By the way, this is my first time emptying out a bastion in this way. I usually just went up the stairs, but just tried to try it the first time, see what it's like. There's another one? Come on. You know, this works too. Nice. So much things I want to take. Pretty good loot. Because I don't really need the diamond shovel. I mean, I don't need the diamond axe. Yeah, so I played Brawl Stars way too much, to the point that I actually like I ended up reaching the top of my club. Now back then the #1 guy was like 16,000 trophies or something, and by the time I got to like near them, he was like at 20,000 trophies. Yeah, and I actually caught up with him again, so I ended up getting a total of like, how much is it now? Like, quite a lot. Like, yeah, I got 21,000 trophies, so I easily surpassed him. So that was pretty great. I even surpassed my friend earlier that I talked about earlier. Are there gonna be brutes up here? I don't recall there being brutes up here. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of gold. After I get this, I'll just run away. Oh dang. So yeah, that's basically how much I played Brawl Stars. Now I will quickly go to the next game, I think. Or if if this gets too long, I'll just move on to a two-parter episode, because I still have 10 days left to talk about anything I want. I want to take some of these bricks back. Maybe I'll leave it. I'll just take a stack. But yeah, I played way too much Brawl Stars. I'm not going to talk about Skyblock or Hypixel or Bed Wars or anything like that, because I think that falls under the whole category of what I talked about already in a previous episode. See, I already talked about Skyblock on all that in episode like 1, right? So I don't think I need to talk about it again. I guess the very next thing to talk about would be Undertale. Undertale, you know, that's a great game for me to talk about. A lot to say about that. I have a lot to say about that game. Because I got Undertale around 10th grade, so it might seem a bit weird that I'm jumping from 7th grade all the way to 10th grade, but you know, it's very reasonable because all I really played was Minecraft. I'm not even gonna count Among Us because it was like, I mean, it was during 8th to 9th grade, but I already talked about it once, and that's pretty much all there is to talk about. I already talked about it in my childhood episode. I wasn't even that good. Like, I sucked in Among Us. I was really bad. And the episode will probably end when I return to the overworld, so I'll just like yap as much as I want until I get there. And then there was Undertale. Even I'm not gonna focus on the speedrunning aspect of Undertale because I already talked about that. But the actual playing of Undertale, like that's what made it so special in my opinion. Like I really fell in love with the story of Undertale. And I can see why there's so many like different, you know, fan games inspired by Undertale now. Because I mean, I think most people would agree with me here because that's what most people seem to say. But this is really my opinion. Like I think the true pacifist route is like the best route ever in Undertale. If you haven't played Undertale yet, please check it out. Like it costs like nothing on Steam. Like I think it's like $2 or something. I forgot, but it's definitely worth it. I loved it so much that I played through all the different endings like 5 different times. And the great thing about this game is that once you become a speedrunner and you start to like learn more about the game itself, I learned so many different things because this game has so many secrets and Easter eggs that there's so many that I keep finding them. Like, if I worked hard enough, I'll probably still keep finding them to this day, right? Yeah, that was really the amazing thing about Undertale in my opinion. The stories, the characters, the simple art style. Such a masterpiece of a game, and especially the music. I think I love the music so much. I may have talked about this, but during my piano phase, when I was undergoing my OST phase, when I was playing piano, I started to learn Minecraft OSTs, and then I also started to learn the Undertale and Deltarune OSTs. So I learned the Undertale OSTs. I think my favorite one was Hopes and Dreams. Of course, that's many people's favorite. But a more underrated kind of favorite is It's Raining Somewhere Else. That's a really good song as well. I have so much gold. Holy crap. So there's It's Raining Somewhere Else, and yeah. And moving on to the next game, because that's pretty much all I have to say about Undertale. I already talked about my speedrunning things. There is Deltarune. So Deltarune Chapter 1, like I got recommended by the same friend that told me to play Undertale to play Deltarune, because if you like Undertale, you'll basically naturally like Deltarune as well. Makes sense, right? And when I first played it, Deltarune Chapter 2 had not been released yet, so I played it around 2020 or something. And I mean, I played around 2021, and Deltarune Chapter 2 came out like 2 months or something after I first played Deltarune Chapter 1. So Deltarune Chapter 2, when it came out, I was like really excited, and it turned out to be much better than Chapter 1 in my opinion. Like, it was just so amazing. So yeah, I'm very excited that I could have the opportunity to play that. I don't want to beat the animal one more time. I'm definitely the anvil now. I didn't know I'd be able to talk so much about like games, but I think the Bastion took the majority of the episode. I was really focused on trying not to die in the most difficult type of Bastion, you know, the treasure Bastion. Trying not to die is pretty tough when you're commenting about Brawl Stars at the same time. I think tomorrow I will talk about the majority of the games. Yeah, so I know I switch this up often, but that's like, you know, why it's unscripted, you know. So tomorrow's episode I'll talk about the different games that I play as part 2, because I do have a lot to say on Project Sekai and Deltarune Chapter 2. Speedrunning Deltarune Chapter 2 and tasking. That's something I've always done as well. I think tasking on Deltarune counts as like a whole different game, well, you'll see what I mean when I explain it. That's what I'll be talking about in the next episode. And it'll be more planned than this episode, because I'm actually going to write these things down for, like, I always have like a daily plan of what I'm going to talk about in the next episode, and this time tomorrow's episode will be focused on like tasking and all that kind of stuff, and the episode after that will be focused on social media, like the various social media that I've used. So, because I think that's a pretty important aspect that I want to discuss. Well, this episode is pretty long already, and I do have a hangout after a few hours after this, so I'm gonna quit the game here. I hope you really enjoyed the episode, even though it was a bit distracted because of Bastion, but I did get a lot of great loot. I finished my roof and the lighting, all that. I'm happy about that. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and goodbye.